I need Trash to lose everything. That is the only way that this story has any kind of payoff, is Trash losing everything. But if she has Nicole to fall back on, because Miss Take the High Road Nicole is still going to be Vanessa's friend, even though she's treating everyone like shit for Joey. What is up, everybody? Here to talk about today's Beyond the Gates episode. I am recording from this room today, so sorry if there is an echo. It's because Leslie is still doing construction on a damn house outside of my apartment, I guess. Let's talk about today's Filler Friday. For anyone that watched my live today, you would see that by watching it, we were talking more about other soap operas than today's Beyond the Gates episode, because it was a Filler Friday. The thing that irked me most was Nicole and Vanessa's friendship, because the way they've written it, like they've written everything for Trash, is that she is so selfish with everything that now everything in her life revolves around Joey, and she has put Joey ahead of everything, including her friendship to Nicole, that I thought Vanessa was so in the wrong with that double date. Vanessa planned the double date. She made Nicole go to the double date. Joey started the shots at Carlton and Nicole at the double date. And then Vanessa didn't stick up for Nicole, only stuck up for Joey on the double date. After the double date, Vanessa's mad at Nicole the whole time. Joey's the one that has to push Vanessa to talk to Nicole. And then today, Nicole is able to still forgive Vanessa, and we have some flashback that I think is supposed to make us actually give a shit about this friendship, but it didn't work on me. So I thought their scenes today were very annoying, and I get the way they write Nicole. They always want Nicole to be the character that takes the high road. So I guess it was very in the Nicole's character's way of thinking today, for the reason she was so cool with Vanessa after the way it has been lately. Now I get what she's saying. She's not going to let one fight ruin their friendship. And Nicole's saying that they're always going to be real friends. But Trash is clearly not her real friend. No one who is your real friend is going to act how Vanessa has acted for these past couple of weeks of episodes. So it was annoying. And then their conversation devolved to where, like, Nicole wanted Vanessa to just listen, because Vanessa's still saying that Nicole is wrong about her and Grandpa Gangster. And Nicole is saying that if something is to happen, because Nicole's whole problem is that she's worried about Vanessa. She has a fear that Vanessa will get hurt because of this relationship with Joey, or just because of Joey in general. And to me, this is setting up a point where Trash is going to need Nicole. And that's not enough suffering for Vanessa to me. I need Trash to lose everything. That is the only way that this story has any kind of payoff, is Trash losing everything. But if she has Nicole to fall back on, because Miss Take the High Road Nicole is still going to be Vanessa's friend, even though she's treating everyone like shit for Joey, I don't like it. So that was annoying. Something else that annoyed me today is that, Vernon and Anita started this episode. Vernon is giving Anita balloons because it's happy second to last chemo day. And he had her pop the balloons and confetti came out, and they're still planning their trip to New Orleans later in the year. And then they go to the hospital so that Anita could get her chemo. And Vernon talks to Madison, not just about Madison's lawsuit that came out of thin air, but because he wants to schedule an appointment. We're still in this health scare. It's not even a health scare. We're still in this health story for Anita. It's too soon to see Vernon have a health scare of his own. Like, he's talking about how he's been misplacing a few things. He's forgetting things. He wants Madison to check up on him and figure out if something is actually up with him. He's also keeping this a secret from the family because the Dupree family, I guess, does not like to talk about their medical issues with each other, because we saw Anita do that when she first had cancer, which was more understandable. But we have Naomi hiding her cancer gene already, and now Vernon wants to keep this a secret. I mean, to me, it's the writers running out of ideas already, because how are we telling the same story three times? How are we doing the Duprees keeping secrets three times? Why are we going into another health story for Vernon when we're still in one with Anita? And there's no way they can write an Alzheimer's or worse issue for Vernon and keep the character viable for years to come. So I don't know, but I do not want another health story. Like the cancer story was already depressing. Now we got to go through something with Vernon. And if they half-ass the story, it's actually going to be a slap in the face to some viewers. I feel like some people already feel like that about the cancer story. So that's concerning if they're already going with another health story for Vernon now instead of Anita. One of the only things today that I somewhat enjoyed was Dani and Bill at the country club. It wasn't really that dramatic at all. It was definitely lacking drama, but Dani did at least bring up the baby comment from the other day when Bill was on the phone with her, where neither of them realized, I guess, that Bill called her baby, but she was asking if Haley brought this up to Bill and if Haley is upset about this. Bill is saying that Haley hasn't brought that up, and Haley always brings something up when something is on her mind. But Bill decided to try and throw Andre under the bus. Bill told Dani that the other day Andre brought up the issue with him and says it's because Andre is insecure in his marriage to Dani. And as I said all of yesterday, I really do feel like Andre is putting up this tough front, but in reality, he is jealous of the whole Dani and Bill connection. But the problem is it's because Andre will not actually confront Dani about her issues. He lets Dani get a pass every time. He thinks Bill is the issue. And Bill is an issue. Both Bill and Dani are an issue, though. That's an Andre problem, though. That's something Andre is going to have to either work out with Dani, or he's going to get blindsided when the inevitable happens between Bill and Dani. Pamela sent a card for Dani and hers 1 year anniversary of the modeling agency. Hard to believe it's been 1 year because it hasn't been that significant. What really stood out to me in the Bill and Dani scenes today, though, is how now Bill tries to be so supportive of Dani's career, even though when they were married, it was all about Bill's career and Dani couldn't even have a career. But now Bill wants to act like the supporting friend or the supporting ex-husband now that they're not married. And if Dani wasn't a toxic individual herself with some clear self-esteem issues when it comes to Bill, I don't know what Dani's issue is with Bill. I don't know why she wouldn't, even to this day, still have negative feelings about Bill, because from all we've been told, from all we saw on the early days of this show, Bill treated Dani like crap, and yet Dani has always still given Bill the benefit of the doubt. So that's kind of hard to watch, but I did take a note of that in today's episode. And Bill was still trying to be supportive towards the end, trying to give his opinions on what she should do at the modeling agency. But at one point, she did tell Bill that she can get used to this version of Bill, and they had a toast. And it looks like next week by the preview, Dani is going to confront Andre about maybe being insecure. I hope we're going to start getting somewhere again with this whole triangle between the three of them. It would be nice because this show is still lacking on good storylines. Kat started this episode with Izaiah. She saw him at Orphe Jean's. He was waiting for Eva, and Kat decided to sit with him. And Kat was doing a little bit of flirting with Izaiah, and Eva came, and Eva didn't like to see them together, and Eva was getting a little jealous. Eva had some comment about how it's crazy that they're in the same room back to back. I guess this was just to show us that even though they had a little bit of progress at the birthday party, we're still stuck with this rivalry that has been redundant for so many months now, and frankly, hasn't gone anywhere. Like, if someone could tell me in the comments, like, where has this Kat and Eva rivalry gotten us? Please tell me with the storytelling on this show, where has the Kat and Eva rivalry really gotten lately? Because they ruined it with the Tomas character. I said it when it was happening, and here we are, like 8 or 9 months later, and the rivalry is dead in the water to me. But when Kat went to go see Chelsea, she did admit to Chelsea that she was flirting with Izaiah. So I know some Kat fans probably aren't going to like the way they're writing Kat, because Kat is still taking the blame for being petty in this storyline. But that is how they've written Kat, and that is what we got to take the Kat character as right now, still being a shitster when it comes to her relationship with Eva. Izaiah and Eva worked it out by the end of the episode. He was trying to tell Eva to not let Kat get to her and not get jealous. Izaiah reaffirmed to Eva that he's not going anywhere. Honestly, Izaiah continues to be a really good boyfriend to Eva. Something that she needs. Still wish that Eva could get some friends on this show, though. And then the other two storylines on today, it's almost like, why even talk about them? One of them is Madison and Chelsea, who are talking about this case against Madison that has had no build to the storyline, because it all happened off screen. They again talked about Madison's mother, who we still have never met, and yet we're supposed to care about the storyline, even though it's Madison's mother's fault. So, I mean, the storyline's a waste of time. They don't put any effort into the Chelsea and Madison storylines, so I'm not going to put any effort into reviewing that storyline until it actually maybe gets good, or maybe we see more of it on screen. And then Jacob, who is, just this great undercover cop who wants to prove himself allegedly, still after getting his ass kicked in yesterday's episode by Ren, decides to take him and his sore ribs to Naomi and meet with his wife again when he's supposed to be undercover. And he tells her about his sore ribs, so of course that makes her worried. She hates how he's all alone on this undercover work. And Jacob doesn't want Naomi to tell him to stop because he's in way too deep now. He can't stop. Naomi was trying to get him to stop, but that wasn't going to work. And then Jacob got a text that he got called away to do something undercover. So of course Naomi was upset. And then Naomi and Jacob shared another sad goodbye for like the third or fourth time over the past month, it feels like. And yet, despite them having all of these sad goodbyes, don't feel like this storyline has gone anywhere with the Impaler stuff. Now, I know in the preview, looks like something's going to happen to Grayson. I'll talk about that more on Sunday for my preview episode and when I go over y'all's comments. But yes, overall today was certainly a filler Friday, like most Fridays are on this damn show. And I don't like what they're doing with Vernon. I don't think we need another health story already. Can you get new ideas? I beg. Get some new interesting ideas. And then I hated Vanessa, as some of y'all in the comments call her, or as I call her, the more appropriate trash. Hated the scenes with Nicole already forgiving Vanessa. It was unwarranted, but of course, Nicole has to take the high road.